What's going on, world? DS1 Ross, and I'm back. Morning to everyone. Shout out to everybody who support me, DS1 Ross, and this platform, SHEEPSTAYSLEEPTV. Very much appreciated. Some morning chat for you guys. I know I haven't dropped a stream in a day, so definitely back for y'all family. Just had to give myself a little break. You know, um, some people don't understand that when you're actually a content creator, that it could take its toll on you if you don't sometimes just give yourself a break. Give your mind a break. You know, give your emotions, and give yourself time to just wind down, relax, and just power back up. So this is what I wanted to talk about this morning: the father and son dynamic. Um, a lot of us here, we talk about the lack of parents that a lot of parenthood, the lack of parenthood here on YouTube. And I didn't really want to speak from that perspective today. I wanted to speak on more of the positive things. What happens when the dynamic actually works? What happens? Is it gonna always be positive? Is it always gonna just be good results? No. We're that's not what life is about. It's always a positive and a negative aspect to everything. It's all about how you accept it. So I really wanted to get into the father and son dynamic. Um, if y'all don't know, I grew up with my dad. You know, um, Shout out to all of the black men who did grow up with their dads. Shout out to the black men who didn't grow up with their dads, but who are great dads. So shout out to all my homies. Because a lot of my friends, they didn't grow up with their dads, but they're great dads to their children. A lot of my cousins didn't grow up with their dads, but they're good dads to their children. So shout out to them for that. But I wanted to talk about what happens when the father-son dynamic is there. If y'all want to know why I'm such and this is not to toot my own horn, but what people tell me, um, I speak well, I explain myself a certain way. People like my perspective on things. They say I'm very wise for my age. This is because of my dad. Of course, a lot of it comes from me because I'm my own person and my dad is who he is, but my dad allowed me to be my own person. My dad didn't force me to go a specific way in life. He forced me to do the right thing. And he didn't even force me to do the right thing. I made the choice to do the right thing. Because at the end of the day, if you're a parent, you realize that your child only makes the choice to listen to you. Whether they fear repercussions or not, they only make a choice to listen to you. And this is what I realized. And this is why over the years, I've changed my way of parenting, especially because I have sons. Now, there's certain things that there's no discussion about. There's certain things you have to do because the things that I'm saying you have to do is the foundation of is the foundation you need to be a man. You see? So you got to know how to clean up. You got to know how to first, you got to know how to clean yourself. See, my dad taught me how to wash my ass. He taught me this from a little boy. He showed me what to do and how to do it. See, a lot of men have poor hygiene because they weren't taught by other men how to have good hygiene, what it is to have good hygiene. You see? And I'm a big nigga. So I definitely, my hygiene is always A1, always on point. But I was taught, my dad taught me this. Most guys don't know how to keep themselves clean. It's not because they don't want to be or they're just dirty. A lot of them don't know how to clean themselves properly because they weren't taught by men. And at a certain age, your mama not going to touch your penis no more. So if you 13, 14 years old, your mama ain't going to be in the bathroom with you cleaning your balls. That's why you need a man around. Because a man could just show you how he clean his balls and tell you to follow. You see? So a lot of the little things that we see lacking in men, it comes from the lack of fatherhood. And you see I hashtagged brotherhood. We're gonna get into that a little later. Because as you get older, you and your dad become like brothers. But we're gonna get into that. But like I was saying, I speak the way I speak. My presence is the way it is because of my dad. My dad nurtured what he saw in me and he allowed it to manifest. When I was a little boy, my father would sit me down with him and we used to watch presidential debates. We used to watch lectures. He put this stuff in my mind when I was a little boy. My grandmother used to be like, "Why you got that boy watching presidential elections? He don't even know what he watching." Hence, you have Sheep Stay Sleep TV today. You see? It's because my dad woke me up to a lot of things as a young boy. And let's not even add the flavor of the Nation of Islam from my mom, because that's my mom's background. The Nation of Islam, that's my mother's background. So you mix them two together, but my dad is what laid the foundation in order for me to accept the knowledge of Islam, for me to accept the knowledge of the Bible. See, my dad didn't push religion on me. My dad was not part of a church. He wasn't part of any of that. At one point, my dad went to the Kingdom Hall at one point in my life. Did my dad make me go with him? No, because that was his journey. And my dad is letting me go through my journey. See, because once you become a certain age, your parents becomes your advisors. They're no longer your guardians. They're your advice. My dad is my advisor. That's who he is. He's like, my dad is like, he's like the priest in the priesthood. I go to my dad to vent about man shit, about things that I feel about being a man. There's a lot of black men who don't have that outlet. This is why they come on YouTube and vent. This is why a lot of guys is attracted to the manosphere, the black manosphere, because they don't have men in their life to advise them on things. They don't have men in their life to teach them about women. They don't have men in their life. They don't have red pill men in their life. So they searched and found the red pill on YouTube. Hence the lack of the father and son dynamic in the quote unquote community. It's a lack of the father and son dynamic. But when there is a great father and son dynamic, you get more men who are more introspective. You get more black men who are more cerebral. They're more they're more of a strategist. They're visionaries. They're idealists. They're about pushing their ideas. See, you could tell by how a guy speaks if he was raised by his father or if his dad was just around, because some of these guys just had sit-in fathers, but they mothers ran shit. And you could see it in their behavior. See, when my mom and my dad was together, my father ran the show. And it wasn't because he was a tyrant. It wasn't because he didn't respect women. It wasn't because of none of that. It was because my mother knew that he was the type of man you submit to. You see? Because my mother knew and was shown that my father will protect her, that my father will provide. on all levels. Because providing is not just finances. Does he provide an ear to hear his woman? See, your dad teach you those types of things, not your mother. Your father teach you how to deal with women. That's what he's supposed to do. So the father and son dynamic is important to brotherhood. See, you don't know how to deal with other men if you weren't taught by men. You don't know how to be around men. See, because you got to understand in the brotherhood, it's all different types of personalities. But you got to know how to deal with them. Show you how to move in a room full of vultures. Y'all ever heard of that? Your dad teach you that. Your dad teach you how to be amongst sharks. That's the role of your dad, not your mother. Like I said, a lot of guys got sit-in fathers. Niggas that was just there, but they had no effect. Y'all wonder why I have a strong sense of self? Because of my father and the relationship he developed with me. Not the relationship I developed with him, the relationship he developed with me. You see? You know where I learned the concept of loyalty from? My father. Because my father was loyal to me. See, you wonder why these dudes be so fucked up? Pay attention to the father-son dynamic. You wonder why he's so cutthroat. Why he ain't loyal to nothing. Why his word don't never mean shit. Why he could easily flake on you. Because these guys weren't taught how to be solid. They weren't taught by a man. They weren't taught. That's why these guys are so emotionally driven. Your dad teach you how to control your emotions. And that's what, when I speak to my dad to this day, now we talk like brothers. I'm gonna always be his son, but we have the love and respect for each other like we're brothers. Because now I'm a grown man. I'm 33 years old. I'm gonna always be his little boy, but he don't look at me in that way when me and him are interacting. In his heart, I'm gonna always be his little boy because I'm his son. That's the same thing for my sons. But if me and you were sitting down and having a conversation and you expressing yourself as a man, I gotta respect that. That's brotherhood. When you could come to me as a man and talk to me and tell me how you feel as a man, and I don't judge you. See, my dad, this is why I say It's brotherhood, because when you're operating in parent mode, we're quick to judge. We're quick to say what not to do because we just don't want to see our children hurt. But when you could sit down and your dad actually tell you, well, you feeling like that is normal. I felt like that. Do you know there's a lot of black men that don't have that kind of outlet? That can't call somebody and tell them what they going through. As men, just like women go through shit, men can't fathom. I can't fathom the emotions of a woman. I can't. That is the reason for me doing the women's panel about Aisha Curry. Because I couldn't try to dissect this woman's feelings. I don't have a vagina. I don't know how women feel. The leading hormone in my body is testosterone, not estrogen. So I don't know how women feel. I don't know how, I can't tell you how a woman feel after she pregnant. I can tell you what I saw my woman go through, but I can't tell her, babe, well, this is how you felt. I can't do that. This is why the father and son dynamic is important. Because when you lost out here and you can't reach out to your dad, you know what you go do? You go find a father right here on YouTube. A lot of you niggas is niggas' sons on here. A lot of y'all are manosphere babies. Y'all are the sons of these dudes. They raised y'all. They birthed you niggas. I was who I was before I got here. I'm not looking for daddy. I'm not looking for daddy to say, you doing a good job, son, here on YouTube. Because I have a real active relationship with my dad currently, right now. I could call my father any time of the night, and I'm 33 years old, and talk to him. He'll wake up, son, is everything okay? What you want to talk about? See, a lot of these black men on here don't have that. That's why they got YouTube daddies. I don't have a YouTube daddy. I am not a manosphere baby. That's the difference. This is why I preach brotherhood and been preaching brotherhood since I've been on YouTube. Because me and my dad are brothers. Me and my dad are brothers. You see? The father and son dynamic is extremely important. Extremely important. Because you see the lack of it here on YouTube. You see it. That now there's a father, there's a YouTube father and son dynamic. You got guys on here looking for daddies, looking for other men to look up to. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong with admiring a man in his strength and even drawing from it, because that's what brotherhood is. But don't come on YouTube and look for a dad. Don't come on YouTube and look for somebody to take instructions from. You supposed to know what to do before you got here. You supposed to understand the concept of brotherhood before you got here. You supposed to know what a real was before you got here. You supposed to have these teachings before you even got here. Hence why a lot of these guys can't think for themselves. Because you have to be taught to think for yourself. That has to be taught to you to develop your own conclusions of things, have your own perspective. See, these are things that are taught to men by their fathers or by men of authority in their life. You see? And what they say, if a boy grows up without a father, to help him, what do? You push him in male dominated spaces. Hence why you got a lot of men run into the black manosphere, because those are male dominated spaces. Well, it's starting to get a little shaky, you know? So I could see the problem. But a lot of men flock to that because that's a male dominated space. And men are learning things from other men there. You have a lot of young men who listen to the black manosphere because a lot of them don't have dads. And just like a young girl who searched for her father through the men she deal with, men do it too by hanging out or wanting to be accepted by men who are on a higher tier than them. But they try to hide it because they grown ass men and they know they dysfunctional. Like, shout out to Cerulean, they're derelict in their masculinity. So they go around and be around these men and try to pretend like they're a certain way when they know they're here to learn. See, that's something else your father teach you. That's something else he teaches you. Be humble when you in the presence of someone who know more than you. Humble yourself to learn. Don't feel inferior to other men who know more than you. You know how I learned that? My dad never made me feel inferior to him. Everything is a lesson. It's not a loss. It's a lesson. So even if a guy's talking to you a certain way, if what he's saying is the truth, don't let how he's saying it affect your feelings and affect what you're gonna do with the information. And a lot of these guys, they let that shit affect them more than the message. that shows the lack of the father and son dynamic in their life. Because your emotions is too heightened. Because the first thing your dad'll do when he's trying to show you something, first thing my dad'll do, he'll say, listen, look, do you hear me? Pay attention. And sometimes he will give me the message riffing at me. Like how y'all may hear me come up here riffing. How I be going off. But there's always something to gain from that. You see? So even when I may go off, it's not an emotional crying out for help type of thing. Is that sometimes the message has to be put a certain way in order for you to receive it a certain way. Did my dad do everything right? Hell no. Did he say everything the right way? No. Did I accept everything the right way? No. No. But one thing my dad did, and this is something I do with my sons, is he explains to me why he done things the way he done it. So even when he spoke to me in a certain way, he explained why. Because certain shit that you explain to a little boy has to be put in a raw fashion. Because he's gonna grow up one day and be a man. See, you can't dilly-dally with little boys. You can't do that. Am I saying always be a goddamn drill sergeant? No, no. My dad wasn't a drill sergeant, but certain things that I needed to learn, he put a lot more emphasis on it. You see? And you know what that did to me? That made me understand that those things that he put more emphasis on are things that are very, very dangerous to my well-being. This is why he's putting so much emphasis on it. And the one thing he always put emphasis on is what it is to be a man. Never, ever bargain your manhood. There's no negotiating who I am as a man. Take it or leave it. That's with men and women. You see? That's what I was taught by my dad. And now that my dad knows, because my dad watches my shows. Now that my dad knows that this is the finished product of what he put in, my dad respects me as a brother. Are me and him on the same level? Hell no, because he's my dad. But he respects me as a man and what type of man I am. Because men just don't respect men. General respect is always there. General respect. Excuse me. General respect. But my dad respects me as the type of man that I am. Not me just being a man, but the kind of man that I am. See, that's what brotherhood is. When I respect the type of brother you are. And when I can gain something from the type of man that you have become. My dad tell me all the time, I don't know how much stuff I done taught him. And I don't even know that I'm teaching him these things. It's coming from me being the man that I've become. You see? The father and son dynamic, man, is very important. Hence why a lot of women cry about the lack of men out here. They the women are complaining about the lack of men because there's no fathers around. Do we understand the dynamics of a lot of fathers not being around? Yes, we do. So we don't got to go into all of that. But what we need to talk about is the good things that occur when the father and son dynamic is there. See, when a father and son dynamic is there, see, I gave y'all a lot of positive things. I'm going to give y'all some negative things because it's all about balance. Then I'm going to let y'all go this morning because I'm not going to keep y'all too long. And I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I'm not looking at the chat, but shout out to everybody. Go ahead, make sure y'all smash that like button and share the show. Shout out to all my mods. If any mods are in the building, shout out to y'all. But see, when the father and son dynamic is there and it's healthy, you have no problem with supporting other brothers. You're not a hater. You're not jealous of other men. Because one thing your father would teach you is never want what another man has. Because you have the ability to acquire it. Go out and get it. And you only get what you work for. You get what you work for. See? That's what happens. So you don't have a problem rooting on your brother, supporting your brother, promoting your brother, helping your brother build his shit up. You don't have a problem doing that because those qualities have been built in you due to you've getting that. from your dad. See? You wonder why brothers don't want to help other brothers. You wonder why? Because a lot of these dudes grew up without a father. They ain't grow up they didn't grow up seeing and understanding manhood. Because part of manhood is to be a good brother to another man. That's part of being a man. Part of being a man ain't being selfish. Oh, it's all about me. That's not part of being a man. Being a man is understanding you part of something bigger than yourself. This is bigger than you. That's being a man. So you can't partake in brotherhood if you're not a man. If there's certain things within you that you haven't rectified. Because when you bring that bullshit around other brothers, they gonna smell you out, they gonna call you out, and you gonna have a problem. This is why brotherhood haven't been established amongst black men. Because once a lot of us get around each other, niggas gonna be getting knocked out, all types of stuff. Because dudes don't know how to be men. Because they haven't learned how to be men. They haven't learned. And it's due to the lack of the father and son dynamic. It's due to that. Now, a lot of brothers, they had other father figures. They went to the military. They had a grandfather. They had an uncle. They had a brother who was like their father. They had a cousin who was like their dad. So it still represents the father-son dynamic. That's why I said a lot of these guys are manosphere babies. They on YouTube looking for a damn father. I'm not arguing with manosphere babies anymore. You a manosphere baby. You a baby. Not arguing with you. Got my own kids. You know what I'm saying? I got my own kids. You know why a lot of black men who are celebrities, mainly your athletes, you know why a lot of them get taken advantage of? And because a lot of them didn't grow up with a father. See, your father teach you, don't be friendly with your money with these women, boy. Your father teach you what a trick is, what a simp is, what a beta male is. Your father teach you that. Your father was supposed to teach you that, not to lead with your wallet, but to lead with your knowledge. And if a woman not gonna stand behind your knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, then she ain't the woman for you. Because real men don't lead with their wallet. They lead with their knowledge. See, that has to be told to you by a father figure. if you don't have a father. But you got people on here that'll bang on stepdads. You got people on here shitting on stepdads. I'd rather have a stepdad than a YouTube dad. But you got dudes on here who got YouTube fathers that's banging on stepdads. Guys who are willing to be those father figures. Men are supposed to teach you how to deal with women. They supposed to. And guess what? They're gonna teach you some good shit and they're gonna teach you some bad shit. That's when it goes back to you making the choice. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. I appreciate y'all this morning. Much love to y'all. Shout out to the grinder in the building. That's a fact. Godfathers too. Hence the word father is in Godfather. Good morning, Nicole. Good morning to the great moderator, my sis, Poetic Kels. Miss Douglas, good morning. Thanks for tuning in. BK Hammer, thanks for tuning in. Good morning to the OG. Muhammad is the one. The Eat Kitchen, good morning. My brother Deep in Thought, I appreciate you, bro, for tuning in. Shout out to Love Wisdom, the great Love Wisdom. Good morning, Love Wisdom. Mr. Sutton, my brother, thanks for tuning in, bro. Just Be You, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for tuning in, sis. I appreciate you. Shout out to my brother Gad for tuning in. Shout out to my brother Darren for tuning in. The Purpose of Pain for tuning in. Good morning to everyone. I appreciate y'all. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate y'all, man. But the father and son dynamic, man, is what we as men have to understand is the foundation of manhood and brotherhood. This is the foundation of it. And you can see that there's a lack of this dynamic. Hence why you see what's going on with us right here on YouTube. Hill Zen, appreciate you, my brother. Appreciate you, family. But we have to understand, men, that us holding our responsibilities as fathers is what is going to translate in our sons what we call being a man. You have to instill that in your son, what it is to be a man. And like I said, there's certain things that you talk, you be a little bit more mild-mannered, but there's also things that you have to amplify to your son. Don't be a follower. See, those are things I'm not gonna say nicely to you. You know why? Because being a follower could cost you your life. So dad is not gonna be cool when it comes to that. When it comes to education, I'm not gonna be nice. You failing in school is not something we negotiate. There's no negotiations. You doing what you need to do in the house. There's no negotiations. See? There's no negotiations on respect. And see, there's a lot of grown ass adult men out here who don't understand those things. This is why they quick to disrespect other men. Not understanding that could cost you your life. Disrespecting another man because you can't dictate how another man interprets and handles disrespect. But see, these guys fly off quick at their mouth like women because they wasn't taught by men to watch your mouth, to think before you speak. That's man shit. Think before you speak. Think before you react. If you think before you react, you are no longer reacting, you're responding. Because a response takes thought. Reaction don't take thought. Your ass don't think to move back when you about to get burned. If fire is in your face, you ain't thinking, well, I better move. No, that heat gonna make your ass jump back. That's the difference between a reaction and a response. See, when you think before you speak, that's a response. That's not a reaction. That's a response. Hence goes back to what? Your father. Because your father is the logic, or is supposed to be the logic in the house. Hence, he's the visionary. See? The one with the vision is the one that's leading with logic and knowledge. That's why he has the vision. That's why he has the ideas. Shout out to my brother Gad. Exactly. And that's what they call JT too. They call JT the great visionary. You can't have vision without knowledge. See, all of these things these are masculine traits. Not saying that women are not logical. We're talking about biological traits. Why do you think they say men lead with their left brain? We think with our we are left brain thinkers. Left brain thinkers are logical. That's logic. That's practicality. That's dealing with the left brain. That's men. Linear. Linear thinking. 1 + 1 is 2, nigga. I don't care how you feel. It's 2. That's that's logic. That's men. That's the essence of men. This is how we get into silly arguments with our women. Because we so damn linear. Your woman ain't linear. She don't think like you. That's why you could get into silly arguments with your woman. And when you sit back and think about it as a man, you like, damn, why did I even indulge in this shit? Cause she gonna get you caught in your emotions. Cause that's how a woman wins the argument. The woman don't win the argument with logic. She wins it with emotion. Most of the time she gonna say, you didn't have to say it like that. You right, but you didn't have to say it like that. That's how they win the argument. That's how you always end up wrong. Cause that's the biological nature of men. We're that's how we're wired. Women are not wired that way. But you know who teach you that? Your father, if he's around, or a father figure. He's gonna tell you your woman will never think like you because you're a man. Men are logical. This is biological. This is not um me speaking from no egotistical perspective. This is biology. We are left brain thinkers. Left brain. Women are right brain thinkers. Intuition, emotions. Okay? Understand. Understand what it is. But a lot of us men have a hard time understanding those things because we didn't have no fathers or no father figures to for us to grasp certain things from young. Thanks, Jess. I appreciate it. Thanks for the love. That's a fact, BK Hammer. I agree. Exactly, Mr. Sutton. That's how they win the argument. You right, but you ain't have to say it like that. That's them admitting everything you said was right. But guess what? You wrong because I don't like the way you said it. So I win. And you have to let your woman win in that way. Because you're never going to beat a woman at emotions. You're never going to win. You're never going to win that. So we need to stop trying as men to beat women at being emotional. That's not gonna that's a fight man, you gonna give yourself an early grave trying to win that fight. Cause she know you right. Your goddamn woman know you right 90% of the goddamn time. She know that. But she also know that She also know that she don't want to play into the male's ego. So that's why she say, no, you're wrong. No, you're wrong. No, you're wrong. That's why she do it. Shout out to my big brother Art. Thanks for tuning in. She not doing that because she know you wrong. She know you goddamn right. She know you right. She knows it. But she doesn't want to accept it because you're right from a practical perspective. And a lot of women have trouble dealing with practicality. It's not because they don't want to, it's because it's not their nature to deal with practicality all the time. But see, your dad explains this to you, or you see it. See, growing up, I understood that concept because when my mom and my dad was together, now they broke up when I was 5 years old. So, you know, but when my mom and my dad was together, I saw it. I saw it. Some of the issues I have with my wife right now is some of the same issues my father had with my mother. And it's not I'm not talking about the big issues, but the little shit that men deal with they women. You know, the little freaking frat shit. You always right. You always think you right. You think you know everything. My mother used to tell that to my dad growing up when I was little. You ain't you so you think you never wrong. You think you know everything. That's to try to offset logic. That's to try to make you feel bad for being logical. But you know what my dad told me? Ignore that shit. It's hard to. I'm actually learning as I get older to laugh that shit off. But when I was young, man, man, I used to argue with women about woman shit. Like I'm trying to argue with her to tell her why she shouldn't say I'm wrong because I'm logically right. But back then I didn't understand female nature. Shit, I didn't even understand male nature. In that aspect, for me understanding that you're not supposed to argue with her because she's going to always feel that way. You can't change it, being right or not. See, I had to learn that through experience. And then I started going back in my mind like, damn, that's why my moms and my pops had them frivolous ass arguments. That's why. Damn. Now I see why my pops used to say, don't pay that shit no mind. Shout out to Raphael. She's gonna always tell you that, Raphael, because she's a woman. She's gonna always say that. You think you know everything. you you know what I when I was younger, you know what I used to tell females that I used to deal with that used to say that? Wouldn't you rather me know something than not to know nothing? I was an asshole, man. I'm still an asshole. I ain't gonna lie. But that's the type of shit I used to say though. Welcome, Monique Hill. Great to see you. Charles Gilmore, welcome. Thanks for listening in, bro. But that's what I used to say. And that was some real cocky. egotistical shit. But I used to say that. You think you know everything. Wouldn't you rather me know something than to be a dummy? I can't stand you. That's some real asshole shit. But I meant it though. I meant it. Cause it's the truth. Wouldn't you rather me know something than not to know nothing? You know? But your dad teaches you that there's a distinct difference between men and women. There is no you and your woman are equal. Y'all not equal. A woman doesn't want to be with a man who's her equal. That don't exist in the world. You and your woman are equal. We no, y'all not the same. If y'all was the same, why the hell can't y'all get along? I explain that. Why can't we get along? Just men and women, period. Because friction is what creates the balance. The mixture of the two energies is what creates the balance, not y'all being the same. Like and like repels. Like and like don't attract, it repels. That's why a woman don't want a man that she feel like she equal to. She not gonna respect him. Because like and like repels. So men, stop coming up on these streams talking about you and your wife equal. Because if that's the shit you telling your wife and that's the shit that you teaching your kids, you better believe your woman don't respect you. And any day you try to stand up and be a man, she gonna check your ass. And you know what she gonna come out and say? Oh well, I thought me and you was equal. Now you saying we not? At first you said we was equal. See? But your father teach you ain't equal to no goddamn woman. Your father teach you supposed to lead your woman. That's taught by your father or a father figure. So all these dudes you hearing saying that, you could tell that the father and son dynamic in their life is lacking. It's lacking. It's lacking. See? Another thing that we see, and I'm gonna go back to the whole athlete thing. Most of your athletes are raised by single mothers. A lot of the ones you see running around, um, like the ladies were saying on a panel that night, having NBA, you know, penis, running around, what they meat on a platter is because the lack of fatherhood. Because a man teach you how to have sexual discipline. He doesn't teach you to run around and just smash everything in sight. Now, do men go through that phase? Of course we do. Of course we do. But you know what my father told me? Make sure you wear a condom. That's all. Make sure. Because when you don't, you putting yourself at risk to have a child, or you putting yourself at risk to either die or to catch a disease. See, sexual discipline is not should not be taught to a boy by his mother, because he's going to be having sex with women. So a woman shouldn't tell him that. A man should. He should understand how to deal with women through men, not through women, through men, through men, not males, but men, preferably their own fathers. But due to the situation that we're dealing with as a people, we understand that that relationship dynamic is messed up between father and son, between son and mother, between father and daughter, between mother and daughter. We understand that. And also, like I said, a lot of us have sitting dads. A lot of us didn't learn shit from our dads. They was just there. Beta male providers. That's what those men are there for. They were just there. They didn't teach you nothing. You didn't learn nothing from them. All you learned was to have a job and pay your bills. See, a lot of guys was their fathers were like that. Exactly. Exactly, Mr. Sutton. Exactly. It is for them to keep control because they know they could control a dumb nigga. Of course, they know that. Of course. But a lot of these athletes didn't grow up with their fathers. They didn't. Maybe that's why LeBron is a crybaby. You ever thought about that? Because certain things you learn from your dad. You learn not to give up because you lost one time, not to run off. Oh, well, this is not working. I'm leaving. I'm out. No, you're taught how to sit down and deal with things, work through things. Don't be so quick to throw in a towel. Don't be so quick to run. Learn how to deal with things. Learn how to withstand pressure. A lot of guys run at the sight of trouble, at the sight of you going through something in your relationship. You ready to run. That's the first thing you do. Man, I'm leaving. Man, I'm out. That means that you're not ready to deal with adversity. You're not ready to deal with things that men are gonna deal with in their life. You're gonna deal with loss. You're gonna take L's. You know, my dad taught me taking L's are paying dues. You gotta pay your dues. You gotta pay the cost to be the boss. And the cost ain't always something you can pay for with money. Sometimes you gotta go through the darkness. You gotta go through depression for a certain amount of time to come out and be better. It's gonna be those times in life. But see, your father, when you have a dad explaining that to you, growing up and being a black boy in the hood or anywhere, it made me feel like I can do it. This is why I don't give up at nothing. Nothing I do. I don't give up. This YouTube channel was an idea I had in my mind years ago. Anybody who's my Facebook friends, when I post my flashback post, they can see it. Hashtag sheep stay sleep TV been going on since 2013, 2014. I used to talk to myself when I used to go live. But that drive, that ambition, that dedication that's within me made me keep going. And I have my YouTube channel now for 3 years. This was a platform I originally created for me and my homies. If you've been rocking with me this long, you remember me when I was DS1 Alliance. Because at one point I had allies. This was a platform to present brotherhood. And for us black men to realize that we can make effective change if we work together. But the father and son dynamic is the definition of brotherhood. When you got a strong bond with your dad or any father figure, when you get older, that person becomes like your brother. It's brotherhood, man. So you want to know why there's a lack of brotherhood? Because of the lack of father and son dynamic. You have to be taught the principles of brotherhood. And you get those principles from your dad or from a man who represented a father figure in your life. That's where you learn the principles of brotherhood. Respect, honor, loyalty, discipline, dedication. You learn those things from men. And black men can't get along because we don't want to play our positions. We don't want to learn from each other. And it all stemmed from the breakdown of the father-son dynamic. Y'all can hear me? Okay, okay. So I appreciate y'all for tuning in this morning. I will be back this evening. You guys, I appreciate all the love and the support. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat. Much love to y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Y'all have a great day. Y'all enjoy your day. Y'all stay safe. And I'll see y'all tonight. This is DS1 Ross of Sheep Stay Sleep TV. Remember, y'all, we got to heal before we build. Heal before we build. Catch y'all later. Peace.